Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's task. For today's task, I'm going to show you what all of this stuff means. When you have marking paint, string lines, when you have stakes, a hammer, measuring tape, and a hat for shade, and pants and boots for protection walking through all these weeds, only one thing can happen. I am staking out the house and getting some baseline areas for my excavator to look at. One of the things he really wants to do is look at how we've sited this plan out. We did have our architect design and lay out the house where we think it should go. We actually had him on the premises and flew him out here in December of last year, like 2 days before Christmas, so that he could get an idea of where this house was gonna sit. And he changed our minds completely already. Since we have enough room to move things if we need to, we're gonna site it out and see if we like it and maybe even move it again and look at what excavation work we need to make the driveway come down properly. So it is necessary for us to stake out the entire property lines, which is why about a week and a half ago, I mowed my entire property. I rented a huge tractor with a implement and mowed it. It took me, while I was mowing this lawn, I got a wicked bad sunburn on my arms, and I also was at one point freezing and shivering at the same time because of the rainfall that we had during all of it. It was kind of a wild day, but it was super fun. But I'm gonna show you exactly what we gotta do to stringline this property. I know this has nothing to do with necessarily building, but if you are working on site, you need something to keep you busy all day. Sunflower seeds is where it's at, and I have been trying all different flavors. These Bigs cheeseburger ones, pretty good. I had some taco ones the other day. They were wicked good. The jalapeno ones are my favorite, but you gotta have a lot of water by, because not so much for the heat, but if you breathe in the flavoring wrong, oh man, you're a dead meat. So get your seeds, get your string lines and gloves. Let's go to work. So in order to get our first real marker, I gotta make sure all the property lines are shown. And this is a property line marker right here. You can see the old string on there from the original survey marks, and now we've just replaced it and have a string line all the way up the property. Golf ball. I've got my highlighter marking paint. This is the kind you want to use because it can spray upside down. I also have, instead of a measuring tape, I grabbed a measuring wheel, which will put me pretty much within the same vicinity. I'm not doing exact measurements today. I'm just getting rough estimates so we can look at it and determine if we need to move the house down. Meeting with my excavator this morning, he's already recommending that I shift the house 60 feet one direction. So we're gonna map it out, see how it looks, see where it sits, see how much dirt we have to move, and then go from there. And if you're wondering how I'm doing this, I'm working off an XY chart pretty much. I've been given a site plan that we are in the process of approving, but it is what our architect has laid out. And so I'm trying to figure out where these points are going up and over like an XY chart. But I figured it was easiest to walk the straightest part of our property, which would be the back fence. So I walked over this way, one direction, made a mark, so at least I have a reference mark of where I need to be, and I'm gonna go straight out from there. Golf ball. Here is our 288 feet up from the back line of the property. I wrote 288 there. It's really visible, I'm sure you can tell. But we are thinking of moving the house already. Back 60 feet. This would put us at, not 268, 228. What am I thinking, Joel? 228. Yeah, that's visible. It does change perspective on the property a little bit, but I ultimately don't think it's that big of a deal. Golf ball. These first two markers that I have made are the north and south western sides of the house. You guys, it is sunny and bright and hot, and we are on the second day of painting out this plot map. This is our site plan. This is our property outline. This is what we've mapped out is the house and my shop. It says shed. It's a shop. Come on. And now I'm going to start mapping out a little bit of the roundabout and some of the detail in the house, because that's what Bonnie is really confused on seeing and not understanding. So I'm going to see if I can get some of that mapped out. And while I had no trouble finding more marking paint, I am having a horrific time finding a like spray wand. They make a spray wand that you put the can into the cartridge and then you don't have to bend over to spray all your stuff down. And it's so much nicer, but they're gone. Everybody I talked to, every single store I stopped into today was like, we don't have them. They've been on back order for a long time, so don't plan on them anytime soon. I'm like, oh, all right. So we're gonna finish marking some of this stuff out. I know the camera is just not doing it justice, but everything is relatively marked out. The shop is back here. I'm standing in the driveway right in front of the roundabout. I mean, Frank 3.0 is parked in the shop. That's a good place for him. He'll probably stay there most of his life. One thing that my wife kept saying is she wanted this to be a little bit smaller from the corner of the shop to the corner of the house. She thought, let's bring them together a little bit. I had to argue with her so profusely about this, and I actually made her drive the Suburban in the route roughly that we are going to be taking and how it is to pull in and back out so she could get a feel for it. And she changed her mind completely. She was like, oh, you're right, I need this. And now, not that I'm trying to be right, but when it comes to space and things, you don't regret the space that you took up. You will very much regret trying to confine space if it's just like a budget thing. So I understand if it's a budget thing, you got to bring it down, but if you can get away with it, you will not be disappointed in the extra money you've spent on something. So we made the driveway a little bit bigger because we had the room. So the house is 100% staked out all the way out here, and on the bird's eye view, I will show you just the layout of it. This paint layout that I did is not geo-marked, so it is not something that I would excavate with in any way. I will have a contractor come out and help me with that. I have a guy in mind, and he'll help me geo-mark every pinpoint so that my excavator knows exactly where to dig. This is just so that we know that, hey, we learned we wanted to bring the garage back 60 feet and the house back 60 feet. And we learned that we wanted to keep the driveway just as big as it was. And I needed Bonnie to really see perspective on her driveway coming in and the front porch and all that. So if you are starting a new build, I recommend you go out, do some rough measurements. You'll be in the ballpark. So that way you can see, oh, hey, this is exactly how I wanted it. The layout does look okay. And you're gonna be able to say, I don't feel like I'm, I don't know, fighting space for anything. You know, we were wondering if we needed to move the house this way a little bit or go back a ways a little bit or come off the hill a little bit. We made an adjustment because the room was there and we were capable of doing that because we did kind of a preliminary mark out. Thanks for watching today's task, guys. And if you're interested in all the other work we're gonna do on this build, on the whole lean 13, stick around. I'll keep a playlist for it and we'll see you guys next time. I wanna spit out all my seeds. Since we're not stuck or fixated, sorry, that's stupid, don't say that. So in the meantime of I've got my marking paint.